Hey, folks. So I want to talk about a couple things. Sometimes people will make negative comments about my playing and stuff like that. One, I don't care, man. I have been all over the world playing guitar, and I woke up one day in 2020. My career had already stopped. Every musician in the world, our careers just ended, and some of us are actually professionals. This is how we make our living. But I woke up one day and my pinky right here was paralyzed, and I still can't really move the tip of it, and sometimes it gets in the way. And I really don't care, but I'm going to say a couple things too, though. Most people that make negative comments on social media have no content of their own. And I'm sorry, if you're not going to put up, then shut up. And I mean, you can keep commenting because I find you humorous. But the thing is you're too worried about what other people are doing than improving your own life. You don't have your own content up because, let's face it, you're mad at me, you're mad at somebody else because you're mad at yourself, first and foremost. It's called mind your own business. All right. So, what that means, that does not mean anything like an insult. That means that if I have a business of any type, no matter what it is I'm handling, I'm going to mind my business a lot better than you or anybody else, just like you're going to mind your business a lot better than me or anybody else. So you have to take that initiative. And a lot of these comments, though, come from plain ignorance. And a lot of what I get, though, and here's the ignorance part of this. And again, ignorance is not an insult. That is just one's blatant lack of learning, knowledge, or they don't want to, and that's usually what it is. So therefore, they get opinionated about something. And a lot of times, though, when people are hearing what I'm doing, they might, think that I'm out of key or something like that. I'm not thinking key most of the time. So let's say I'm in an airplane and, you have your guys that take the jets, the big, commercial airliners. They go, and they keep a steady pace, whatever. And they're kind of slow. But then you have some guys that dare to take it to an extreme, and they're stunt pilots, and they like to do new maneuvers. That's how new things are discovered. That's how new things are created. And if there's one thing I learned from Shawn Lane, it was not sticking to the major scale all the freaking time. And you got to realize, when you want to be different, you don't want to sound like everybody else. So I'm intentionally not playing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 major scale. Everybody else does that. 90% of the guitar players out there play the minor pentatonic, the blues scale, the major scale, and the metal guys and the shred guys play the harmonic minor. And that's it. The arpeggios all come out of those scales. That's all they ever dared to do. So going back to the airplane, if I take off in a plane, there's only one important thing once I take off. That important thing, think about it. There's only one important thing in an airplane after you take off. That's landing. So I can go anywhere I want to go. Now if I'm being paid by a band to play exactly what they want me to play, note for note, and I'm being paid well, okay, then I will be the commercial airline pilot. However, if I go up in a plane, I'm going to want to explore. Maybe. Sometimes I might want to take an easy path. Sometimes I might want to do all kinds of flips and barrel rolls and all kinds of other stuff. But there's only one important thing, and that is the landing. So some of the players that I really loved growing up, Jimi Hendrix, he'd always, Jimmy pushed the boundaries on things. Shawn Lane, of course. Shawn loved to play outside stuff. Same with Alan Holdsworth. And then Steve Morris. Steve loves that chromatic approach when he plays. And I do a lot of chromatic stuff when I'm playing because there's that percussive, it just sounds really cool. But what I'm going for is the sound that I'm trying to get out that's in my head. And it might not be what you're thinking I should be playing, but that's the other thing that is a very important lesson in not just guitar, but life in general. You can only control one person, and one person's reactions on how they react to things, and that's yourself. Okay, you can't control other people, and when you start having expectations of what other people should do, how other people should play, how they should react if you buy them something, you're always going to let yourself down. I learned that in Alcoholics Anonymous, actually, because I'm an alcoholic, but I haven't drank in probably 13 years now. So, you learn self-control, but if you want to play on the extreme side of things, you got to learn to push yourself. You got to learn to take a random turn. That's why I love motorcycles. I love to just go and not know where I'm going to go, but I just get on the bike and I find places to go. I would love to do that with an airplane. I don't fly, but I would love to. So that's the thing, man. I might not be thinking, I might. Still ended on that note with the major scale. Now, did I play things that were incorrect to you? Probably. But I played exactly what I wanted to play. I created music on the spot, and I was not trying to sound like anybody but myself. That's the important thing. Be yourself, guys. Don't just try to sound like everybody else. As a guitar teacher, I cannot express that enough. The legends, whether it's guitar, piano, art, whatever, the true legends, they have their own unique sound, their own unique style. Whether it's Shawn Lane or Jimi Hendrix or Carlos Santana, B.B. King, David Gilmour, some of these guys, you can hear one or two notes, you know exactly who it is because they dared to be themselves. The guys that copy everybody else, they never go anywhere. They're not ever going to be known. And the guys that spend their time worrying about what everybody else is doing, well, that's why your life sucks, okay? That's why you have nothing better to do than to comment negatively about other people because you're trying to prop up your own fragile ego. I mean, you don't really have any self-confidence or anything at all. That's why you do stuff like that, because you're trying to lift yourself up by putting others down. Everybody else just thinks you're an asshole. So deal with it, work on yourself. Work on getting your own unique sound, your own unique style. Anyway, I'm Jimmy Hudson, and this is just some heart-to-heart advice on being a musician. I mean, I've played all over the place as a guitar player with all kinds of different bands, many, many gigs. I played in the studios, everything, but I always say, unless you're paying me really, really good money and it's known right from the get-go, hey, I'm paying you to play this stuff note for note exactly, night in, night out, I'm probably not going to take the gig unless the money's really, really sweet. But if you hire Jimmy Hudson, you're going to get Jimmy Hudson. I am myself. I have my own unique sound, my own unique style, and I embrace that. And I want you to embrace you. I want you to find your style and your sound and embrace yourself. I'm Jimmy Hudson. I approve this message.